Hi, hello, namaste. Welcome to my YouTube channel Manisha's Content Hub. I am Manisha Pujari. So today I'm gonna talk about UI UX more deeply, and I'll also discuss about the latest trends and technology and also design sprint. Okay, so stay till the end. So let's get started. Okay, so now let's see essential skills to become an user interface and user experience designer. Okay, so first skill is design thinking. So it is incredibly important as well as being able to create the wireframes and prototype. And then soft skills are also very important. Being a good UI UX designer, we must have a strong understanding of needs and preferences of the users and being able to create the digital product and experiences that are easy to use, visually appealing, and solve real world problems. Okay, so skills like empathy, user interface, and user experience designer must emphasize the needs and preferences of the user. And then a curiosity and creativity. Being the UI UX designer, we must be very creative as we have to design the products. And attention to detail. Being the UI UX designer, we must have keen eye for details. And then problem solving skills. Being the UI UX designer, we must spot and fix the problems. And collaboration, we have to collaborate with the developers, designers, and stakeholders. And user testing, after creating the product, we must conduct user testing to make sure our product is meaningful and very much easy to use. And then time management, it is important in all sort of work. So now let's see what are the challenges faced in UI and UX. So UI UX is a challenging field that requires a lot of knowledge about psychology and technology and the user behavior. So first of all, balancing user needs as well as business goals. UI UX designer must focus on needs and preferences of the user, and that is the biggest challenge. So UI UX designer must conduct user research and surveys to learn about the target audience and design to meet the user needs as well as business goals. And second one is keeping up with trends and technologies. UI UX designer must stay up to date about the latest trends and technologies. UI UX designer must constantly learn and adapt new designs, methods, and tools. And third one is collaborating with stakeholders. UI UX designer must work closely with the designers, developers, and stakeholders to match the needs and requirements of the product. Fourth one is designing for different devices and platforms. So nowadays people access products in different digital products such as mobile, tablet, and computer. So we must build a product that works seamlessly in all devices. Fifth one is testing and iterating. UI UX designer must constantly test and iterate according to the user feedback. So now let's see what all knowledges we need to become a UI UX designer. So we must have expertise in creating the effective user interface and colors, fonts, branding and typography, style guides and color theories, user research, user flows, sitemaps, wireframes and prototype. And we must also have the knowledge in key industry tool like Figma. And if you don't have any knowledge about this, then don't worry because I'll gonna cover these all topics in my upcoming videos. So stay tuned. So now let's see the frameworks of UI UX. So it is the basic structure that focuses and supports the problem you are trying to solve. So five elements of UI design. Strategy. So it defines user needs and business objectives. Second one is scope. This is where you determine what you are building. You decide features and content to be included in the product. Third one is structure. You will figure out how to organize your design and how the user will interact with it. And then skeleton, which you can think as a layout. This layer helps detail how the design work. It will not be visible to the user. And then last one is surface. This will be visible to the user. This is complete product. So now let's see what is the design thinking. Well, I already mentioned you that this is the essential skill. So let's see what is design skill. Okay. So the way to create solutions that address the real user problem and are functional and affordable. So let's see the steps in design thinking. Empathy. So it's understanding what end users really need and learning how to think and feel like them. You might conduct surveys, interviews, or observation that who your end users are and what problems they face. And the second one is define. It is to define the problem by making the problem statement. The problem statement is a clear need of the user that should be addressed. Problem statement should be based on user research and it focuses the team on the clear goal. Third one is ideate. Ideate means brainstorm solutions. You should aim to come up with as many ideas as possible by focusing on the quantity of ideas and not the quality, and we should prototype it. And then prototype. It is scaled down version of the product that shows important functions. You should have a clear goal of the prototype in mind. And the fifth one is test. We test the prototype with users. Testing keeps the user front and center, and it gives the opportunity to provide feedback before the product is built. Based on user feedbacks, you can make changes and improvement. So these 5 steps are very important, and this is actually very easy. First one is empathy. It is completely understanding the needs and preferences of the user, understanding their problems. For that you can conduct surveys and research. Second one is define. Here you define problem statement. Here comes a storyboard and knowing about the competitors and new trends. Third one is ideate. Here you have all the things that you have researched. Now it's time to use your creativity and design the wireframes and user flows. And fourth one is prototype. After completing the research and wireframes, user flows, now it's time to prototype it and then test. After completion of prototype, now it's time to test the product and get user feedback, which will keep the user front and center, and according to their feedback we can make the changes. So now let's see what is a design system and what are some of its importance. So a design system is a collection of reusable design components and guidelines and standards which is used to build and maintain consistent user interface across a range of products and platforms. So the goal of the design system is to provide a shared language and framework to designers and developers to work more efficiently. So now let's see the benefits of the design system. First one is consistency. So the design system ensures that the product and platform should have consistent look and feel. Second one is efficiency. The design system helps the designers and developers to work efficiently by providing reusable components. Third one is scalability. So the design system helps the organization to scale their efforts by the framework which can easily adapt it. Okay, so now let's see what is a design sprint. It is a 5-day process from where we go from nothing to a high fidelity design. So, on the first day, we understand and emphasize the needs and preferences of the user. And in second day, we define problem statement and find solution. In the third day, we actually ideate. We now see use our all the creativity to draw the wireframes and user flows. And in the fourth day, it's time for prototype. So after completing the wireframes, it's time to prototype it. And the fifth day, it is time to test the product and get the feedbacks from the user. So now let's see what is the use and outcome of this. So at the end of the 5 day, we will have an working digital product that will be tested from the real users rather than letting the market decide how your product is. It also increases efficiency, focus, and speed of the product. So now let's see that how we'll come to know that this design sprint is an success or not. If we'll get the success, then we should have a customer satisfaction and designer satisfaction, and then cost variance and productivity, and of course happiness and engagement. What I meant by engagement means how people use your product. And then retention. Retention means user returns to use your product. And of course, completion of the task. Okay, so now let's talk about latest trends and technologies. First one is dark mode. It is stylish and modern, and nowadays we spend most of our time in front of the mobile and design. So dark mode plays a vital role in user experience. Second one is neomorphism. It is a visual style that combines background colors, shapes, gradients, shadows to enhance user interface graphic intensity. Third one is animation. UI animation enhances the user experience by guiding flows much better than a static graphic. And then fourth one is micro interaction. Micro interactions such as swipe, data input, button animation. So that means user is getting feedback each time he is doing something. And then fifth one is bold typography. It is easiest way to grab the user's attention. And then sixth one is smooth gradient. So logos are built using it. And seventh one is 3D, and eighth one is error and MD illustration. So and ninth one is design system. It is a trend as well as the discipline in the design world. And then 10th one is voice user interface. It is a touchless interaction such as voice control. And the last one is AR and VR. AR stands for augmented reality and VR stands for virtual reality. So virtual reality is 3D user interface that allows user to interact with visual object, environment or information on physical or virtual space. AR allows user to pull out the idea out of the screen and drop it into the real world at full scale. AR uses an real world setting while VR is completely virtual. AR users can control their presence in the real world. VR users are controlled by the system. VR requires a headset device, but AR can be accessed with a smartphone. AR enhances both the virtual and real world, while VR only enhances a fictional reality. Okay, so I hope you like this video. So like, share, subscribe, and I'll meet you in next video. Okay, so lots of love. Radhe Radhe.